Don't give up on your dream. There's nothing that's worth it. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself and share what this channel is all about essentially. And it's called The Fulfilled Journey because it's legitimately my journey to fulfillment. I literally probably spent 5 or 10 minutes right before this just like mind preparing and getting all the nerves out just to share this because it makes me feel really uneasy to talk about, because it's me letting go of, it feels like, I don't know, 15 years of my life to make a really crazy change in my life. And I'm 36 years old, and I had one of the biggest career shifts I've ever had my entire life just recently. And it all started with me really coming to terms with the fact that I was showing up to work every day and I was doing all the right things. And I was like, I just got promoted in my job and things were going really well. And deep down inside me, I felt this feeling that I just didn't feel full. That's the best way I can really describe it. Is I came home and my routine every day was essentially I would wake up and as soon as I turned off my alarm, I would jump to it and get to work. I used to work on a computer remotely, so I'd show up and work on my laptop, and I would cruise through my day and just try to do as much work as I possibly could and be like really focused. And then after work, I would be on my phone like all the time, and I would watch Netflix for like at least 1 or 2 movies like a night kind of thing. But I was also like, I had a lot of friends and I was seeing friends and I had all these hobbies and everything was normal. It looked good. And it felt like everyone was doing the same thing, and we all were kind of sharing all of our stories about, hey, well, what show are you watching right now? And hey, do you want to go meet up and go surfing or do some kind of hobby that we always used to do together? And then on the weekends, I'd go out to the bar and get drinks with friends, or I'd go happy hour after work with some friends, get food. And this was like a routine, and I did this like for weeks, months, years. And it was really nice. Like I really enjoyed it. And it was a really nice part of my life. But I couldn't help shaking this feeling like really deep down that I had, that something wasn't right about it, and there was something that I felt like I was like longing for something. I felt like I was missing something, and it was like I thought I was like, oh, maybe I just need to like, something's a little off, or maybe this feeling is just something that everyone feels and we just can't get rid of it, and it's always going to be there, that something is a little bit off and I'm not really feeling fully full for my life, and I feel like there should be more, and I couldn't really get a full handle on what this all meant. And eventually it got to the point where I feel like I had this like realization that what's the point of going through these motions? And a few years back, I had a dog. He was a little pit bull and I loved him so much. His name was Whiskey. He died, and after he died, it was like losing a family member. We had him for 12 years. And this was like one of the first moments that I just stopped and said, what's like the point of everything that I'm doing? Like, why am I working this way and living this schedule and like coming home and just like watching Netflix or going to the gym and doing these things, and then I'd eat dinner and then go to sleep and just do it all over again? And I had all these people in my life that like I love so much. I wanted to spend time with them, and that was the life I wanted to be living, is having this like flexibility to take my dog on a walk and see my family members, see my grandma that is old, and really have this balanced life where I was living first and like working also. And I know it's really important, but working and life, like balancing out and like having real work-life balance. And the way that work-life balance is described right now is like you do all that work, right? And then afterwards you balance your day out in the evenings and do something fulfilling after your work hours. I was getting off work at 5 o'clock in the evening, and in Los Angeles, it's like pitch black outside. Like when you're finished, like I couldn't go outside and go on a hike or go to the beach or do anything like that. So I just came home and I watched Netflix, and that was like the routine. And I tried to swap around my schedule and stuff like that and wake up super early and do things in the morning. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say though is just, it still didn't feel actually balanced. And then every year we got maybe 2 or 4 weeks of PTO or vacation time, like at most. And I'm not like upset at the system necessarily, but I was just looking at it and saying, is this how I want to live? Do I want to do this for like 40 years of my life and hit 65 and then retire and then start really like living fully, like freely? And this question was something that like really taunted me. And there were nights where I was working at a really stressful job, and it wasn't above average in terms of like stressfulness. It was actually a really great company, but I still had a lot of stress like working the job, and I would wake up in the middle of the night like in like cold, like literally with cold sweats, like from a movie, and be thinking about the project that I had to do that was coming up, that I need to make sure that I did really well, because I was afraid like, hey, if these projects don't go well, they might replace me, or maybe I might lose my job, or I might not get that promotion that I wanted or the raise that I needed. And when I started experiencing this was when I started realizing, wow, I was like, something's got to change. I can't keep living like this. And that's when I started looking at options of like, hey, maybe I should get a hard reset and like maybe go like vacation somewhere for a little while and actually just experience life. During COVID, I was able to work remotely during that time, which was like, I know COVID was really awful and I had some really hard things that happened during that time, but being able to work remote was like one of the first like glimmers of hope of, wow, I can have this work-life balance again. And during that time, I was coming up on the end of COVID essentially, and people were starting to talk about, hey, like it's time to come back to the office. And I was like, fuck, going back to the office sounds rough. And I was like, okay, before that, I'm gonna go get out of the house. And at the time I was living with my parents at the time because it was during COVID. And after our dog passed away, like me and my whole family, everyone was like doom and gloom. It felt like it was like for that whole year. And towards the end of that year, I was like, we got to go do something. We got to go out somewhere. And it was in that year, we were like, hey, I talked to my sister and I was like, hey, we got to take the family out somewhere. We got to take mom and dad out somewhere. So we decided to go to Hawaii. And that was the first vacation that my parents actually took me and my sister on when we were like 3 years old. And we were so happy like being there with them and spending all that time with them. Like, we had our parents all to ourselves. It was like the best feeling ever. So I was like, let's switch the roles up and take our parents to Hawaii now and like actually show them around the way that we want to show them around, like how they showed us around when we were kids. So we booked the flights, and I was supposed to spend 2 weeks there in Hawaii with my parents, and then I was gonna spend another 2 weeks just on my own, just like to have some me time. And I also had some friends that were living there at the time, so I was gonna meet up with them. So it was cool. Fast forward, I go and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend some time and just like really prioritize myself and live somewhere new for a little while. I've always lived in Los Angeles where I grew up essentially. So we book the flight, we get there. Literally the day I land in Hawaii, in Honolulu, Hawaii, I got this email that said, or it was a LinkedIn message, and it said, hey, we love you for this job. We'd love to hire you for this new job and come check this out. And this was the craziest thing that I think that's happened to me, like leading up to that point. This company, I thought it was like a spam, like a bot message from LinkedIn. It was like a legitimate offer for a job. Like it just came out of nowhere. And I was shocked. Granted that I had been like building up my resume and doing all these like really great things for myself leading up to that. So I was like, okay, like cool, like they found me, it worked. Like I'm doing all this good stuff to like, get certifications and do all these things, and they recognize it. So after that, I actually look at the message, and it's the perfect, literally like the dream job that I was looking for. and I couldn't believe it. So I ended up interviewing for the job in Hawaii while I was on vacation. I had one linen shirt that I brought just to wear for like luau's or whatever like my parents might want to go to where I need a button-up shirt. And I ironed that shirt like crazy and just ironed it out, made it really straight so it looked like a nice like button-up shirt. And I wore that for 3 interview sessions with this company. And I ended up getting the job. And when I got that job, it was like my dream job. I was helping people become entrepreneurs, and I have a background in entrepreneurship, and I've started a lot of different businesses, and I've helped a lot of people start businesses. Backgrounds in marketing. So this was like, my goal was to always create like an impact for people. And that's literally like, that's what woke me up every day. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a difference in someone's life tomorrow. And this job allowed me to help like tens of thousands of people start their business online and sell their knowledge online. It's a company called Kajabi. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, it's cool, but if not, it's okay too. But they help people sell their knowledge online. So there's like online coaches and all these people on there. So now I'm doing this, and it's my dream job. And I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, but I ended up, because I got that job, I was able to work remote and stay in Hawaii permanently. And I ended up doing it. And this change literally changed the whole trajectory of my entire life. When that happened and I started living in Hawaii, I started experiencing what it felt like to prioritize self-care, to prioritize community, to prioritize going at your own pace in life. And that's, I feel like Hawaii has this like down to a T. Like everyone who lives here like really like embodies that. And it's a cultural thing. And we're completely separate from like mainland US. So because of that, like it's really like you just feel what everyone is experiencing there, like that's how it is. And we don't really feel what it's like to be on the mainland and compare ourselves to each other and like all these things. I'll talk about those things later. And from that experience, I literally started realizing, I was like, why was I in such a hurry before to begin with? And why was I living this way where I would just go home and watch TV and stay inside all day and not really do a lot like with my time? And it made me really question like the quality of the life that I was living, despite like the money that I was making, and I was like, I had a roof over my head and all these things. But it made me really start questioning more about, hey, wait, what is the life I'm living? Is this the life that I really want for myself? And I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and then maybe I'm going to chunk the story up a little bit just because I don't want you to watch like an hour-long video right now. But through these questions, I started to just question the whole nature of my whole reality of, wait, what is the life I'm actually like? Why am I living this way to begin with? And even questioning like this job that I have right now, that's my dream job. I'm like, is this my dream? Is this what I want to always be doing? And is it in a way that I really enjoy and appreciate? And despite it being my dream job, I started to realize, I was like, wow, like this, I don't think this is actually what I want to be doing. I was in a routine where I was showing up, putting in 110%. And after work, I just felt how drained I was and how I felt a need, like I needed to go do something to help balance like my work day because of just how like the work environment made me feel in general. And on top of that, I discovered that like how much I was like me going out and drinking with my friends on the weekends, like every single weekend, and that being really normalized. I don't know if that was actually healthy for me. Surprise. It was actually probably not very good for me. But I felt like I needed something in order to like compensate for this life that I was living that wasn't fully mine. And I didn't know what was happening. And it took me taking like a month off from drinking to realize that I was like, oh my God, if I don't drink on the weekend, the level of stress that I feel throughout the day at work was unbearable. And I had no idea that was like a thing until I legitimately stopped. And you have to stop drinking for a long period of time for the alcohol to actually leave your system fully so that you're not numb from it still. But when that happened, that's when I started like feeling all of these like feelings that I wasn't feeling before. And it changed everything, because I was like, oh my God, what am I doing to my body? Because this level of stress was like literally like it was just circulating in me, and it was just being made numb by alcohol. But I was not feeling really good, like emotionally, and it was affecting me physically too. And I didn't realize that it was because of that. So long story short, what ends up happening, spoiler alert, and I'm going to create a lot more videos to go deeper into the story, and just let me know if you have other questions about it. But I am quitting my job. That was my dream job. This was my dream job. And I quit it because I wanted to prioritize myself. And I realized that I was creating this life based on all these like expectations that I felt like my parents had for me, and what I needed to do to make them proud of me, and what society felt like I needed to be, like this person that works like at a tech company or whatever role or title job that like felt right, in order for me to feel like, okay, like I'm doing good enough. But these realizations like of prioritizing myself and my own like happiness made me really question that if I stayed any longer at this company, instead of doing what I fully have been dreaming of, which was entrepreneurship. I've always wanted to like, I'm like, it's the blood courses in my veins to be like an entrepreneur. I'm constantly thinking about new ideas and ways I can bring it to market, and like thinking about financial freedom and like what that would look like and what that would feel like. And the big realization was, if I stayed even just a day longer in that job, it was me telling myself that like I just didn't believe in myself actually, even though I said I do and I feel confident in myself. Because if I was really confident, I would walk out of that door right away, leave that job. And I would like chase this thing that I've been like dreaming of for like decades, and didn't fully take action on it, or I take action like half baked on it and get scared honestly, and or like I would tell myself a reason why like I needed to like stop doing it, but it was from fear. I was afraid, and this fear kept me in places for way too long when I should have left way earlier. And I just want to also say the job I was working at is like most people's dream job. There were benefits. There were like an HR department that sent us gifts every quarter because a company was doing well, all of these things. And I was getting paid well. So it wasn't about all of those things. And it took me experiencing those things to realize, I was like, wow, now that I have the things that I was told I was supposed to have, I'm still not, I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm meeting like my higher calling. I don't feel like this is like my purpose to do it in this way. Especially it was close because I was helping people, and I legitimately like love helping entrepreneurs, but this wasn't, for some reason, like it wasn't the right fit. And again, I'm 36. I'm not sure if that like helps with the equation at all, but like me experiencing it is also part of like why I'm like documenting this journey, and I want to share it with you, because I really want to just say that like I've been through this path, and I want to share my experience, my story of just how important and amazing it is to just like really trust in yourself and create the life that you're dreaming of, because we only get one chance at this right now. And one of the things I told myself when I first quit was, I want to look back on my life when I'm like 80 years old and feel so proud of the decisions I made for myself. And like 7-year-old me looking back and looking at like my life that I've lived and being like, I'm also really proud of you too, because you didn't give up on the dream. And I gave up on my dream for so long that I almost forgot about it. Sorry. I think this is probably a good place to end this video. This message just goes out to whoever found this video. Don't give up on your dream. There's nothing that's worth it. There's nothing that's more important than yourself. We're only responsible for one person, and that's us. And it's the whole us, not just us financially, not just us being accepted by others, but like us accepting ourselves and knowing that we're living in our truth and that we're creating the life that we believe that we can, that we know that we can, and just to never stop dreaming. Thanks for hearing my story. If you enjoy the content and want to keep hearing more about my story, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and just follow my video. Sorry, I'm like new at this. Follow my videos and keep up with my story, and I'm going to keep sharing what this journey for me looked like, and also stories of what it looked like when I was in the past and how I navigated through all of it. And I'm in the midst of it right now, and I'm actually in the process of starting my own business, and it's been one of the most exciting, and I feel the most alive that I've ever felt. And I really want to share that story and just show that there's an alternate way to live, and like it's possible for anyone. I'm like 36, and I thought it was not too late for me to even be trying something like this, and I'm here and I'm doing it, and I want to show you how I'm doing it and what it's like, and that it's possible and that we can all get there. And I wish I'd started earlier, but it's all happening exactly how it's supposed to, honestly, because I think I need all the experiences that I had to do this. Long story short, again, follow my story, and I'm going to show you what it's like to create a fulfilling life, what that journey is. Thanks.